New location unlocked, guys. My living room looks so cute when it's a gloomy day and the lighting isn't gonna change and go crazy. Look at how fun. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited for this video because, well, there's some lore. I feel like there's always some lore. It really all boils down to, I'm just a sentimental girl. I'm just a sentimental young woman. This past weekend, I had a situation happen to me that was very much not ideal. And it was the first time in a really long time that I ugly cried about something. And I'm okay, thank God. But it got me wondering like why I was shaming myself so much for ugly crying over something that I would eventually get over and something that wasn't considered, you know, the hugest burden. As I was thinking about that and going over all these crazy emotions in my mind, I kind of reeled myself in, thank God, and remembered just how beautiful it is to be a complex human being and how sometimes not everything needs to make sense and how your body reacts to things or how you feel about a sort of situation doesn't need to be blamed or shamed and just simply observed. And so once I got over my whole like shame spiral, I remembered how beautiful it is to feel all those emotions. And it isn't really trying to romanticize sadness, because that's not it either, but it's kind of to appreciate the gift of emotion and appreciate why they come up and kind of be present that it's all part of the human experience, which in and of itself, it's like perfectly imperfect. And that got me thinking about how it's hard to kind of get real on the internet. I wanted to make a video that was no script, no nothing, just sentimental vibes and just me opening up to you, because if someone maybe was going through the same thing as I was literally this weekend and kind of like being like, oh my God, like why am I feeling those things? Like I know emotions are cool, but like it's not feeling cool right now. Then I invite you to sit with me in this video, grab a journal as I verbally journal with you. So we're going to journal together. And I have the We Are Not Really Strangers Healing Edition cards. I've never cracked it open. I'm actually like so excited to do this with you guys. Side note, always a tangent with me. I've found that when you have prompts like the ones in these cards, it makes it so much easier to journal. Okay, after I read any journal card, I encourage you guys to pause and journal yourself, and then we can share with each other. Does that sound like a plan? Okay, let's go. Let's see what this one says. How does prioritizing your mental health look like in this chapter of your life? Get specific. Well, right now I'm in a calm before the storm, and I am kind of excited, but also extremely terrified of the couple of months I have ahead, because I'm like very much someone who is trying her hardest to prioritize balance. And like for me, those days at home where you do absolutely nothing is vital for my mental health. Not absolutely nothing, but like active rest where you're not on your phone, you're not on social media, and you're cooking for yourself and you're cleaning and you're reading a feel-good book, or you're drawing, expressing your creativity like in other ways that doesn't have to do with, for me personally, social media. And knowing that those days are not going to come as often in the next couple of months for New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, I have a trip to Colombia, I have a trip to Austin, I have my birthday, I have Halloween. This season is always like so crazy for me. It's scaring me because I'm like, how am I going to anchor myself and prioritize my mental health? And so I genuinely don't know what that's going to look like. So I'm happy that this question came up so I can like think about how I'm going to do that while all this chaos is happening. I think something that's been anchoring me lately has been cooking for myself and making my own meals, but more so being intentional about the plate that I set in front of myself and like enjoying it without any distractions. Oh my gosh. Guys, this sound has been off for a long time. Sorry, LOL. Anyway, we're back. I think that more importantly than like cooking for myself and making those good decisions in my nutrition that affect my mental health so much, it's the intentionality behind a meal and not eating it in a rush and making time for it and enjoying it and being thankful for how it's fueling my body. And if I'm with someone, enjoying their presence over the meal. And I think that's something that's like really simple that I could keep in mind while things get busy to give myself the space to enjoy a meal without any rush. And I think that also means like not scheduling it in, but being like, I'm giving myself 20 minutes to eat this. I have a busy schedule, but I can block off this time to focus on my nutrition, because there was like, I don't know if it's like a running joke on the internet, but a running joke between like my friend group and just people here in New York that when it's New York Fashion Week, like we're all running on coffee and granola bars. What? Like, I'm supposed to be fueling my body even more during a time like this. So for me, like, my food is intrinsically tied to my mental health, just because I've noticed that when I eat a lot of sugar, I get really anxious really fast. I've also stopped drinking coffee because I am like off the walls after I drink a coffee. If I have a coffee in my hand, it is a prop on Instagram, like more often than not. Or it'll be like a chai tea, an iced chai tea. But anyway, I think that's one way I can prioritize my mental health during this busy, busy time. I think another one is to, going back to our journaling conversation, to still check in with myself, whether it's a journal or a devotional or a Bible verse or whatever it may be. And even though right now in this season, the calm before the storm, if you will, like I get to sit down and do 30 minutes of that every morning, at least like 1 minute to myself. You know, whether it be on a plane or in an Uber or who knows where in the world I'll be, to check in and be like, how's my heart? How can I bring just like my light and my goodness to this day? And if I'm feeling down, how can I bring that light and my goodness to myself? It doesn't have to be like 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be this big, huge thing, as long as it's just consistent and it happens. So I feel like that's going to, oh my God, thank God this happened, because I was not thinking about that. And that was actually weighing on my mind, because I'm like, oh gosh, like not me completely going out of my routine. It's not really going out of your routine. It's just establishing a new routine for a busy season. So nice. Let's keep going deep, girls. I know my anxiety is setting in when blank. Get specific. I know my anxiety is setting in when I feel rigidness, or I feel a need. Oh, look at me scrunching up my hand. I'm getting nervous, clearly. I know my anxiety is setting in when I feel this rigid need to control, and I'm not free flowing and kind of like letting things, flow out of me. And I think you can be a planner and you can have routine and still be free flowing. And I think there's like a fine line where there's like rigidness and everything needs to be in my control. And I know that if I lean into that control, that kind of like toxic-y control, the more I lean into it, the more my anxiety is going to set in, because I'm literally trying to do the impossible and control things that I can't control. And so that's kind of like the mentality that could start, things that, or moments that, make me more vulnerable to feelings of like nervousness and anxiety. So being able to call out something like that is good, because you can stop it before it starts. Guys, I'm bearing my soul on the internet. Finish the sentence. I'm working on accepting, loving every single version of myself, because ever since I've been blessed enough to move into this new apartment, I feel like I've been making so many amazing changes to myself, my mental health, my routines, the way I do things, my heart, my faith. Like I've been approaching everything differently, and that's such a blessing. I think my space really inspires me to do that. Ultimately, it's just like God and the universe, instilling that desire in me. But I think that I'm like, ooh, I'm slaying. Ooh, I'm slaying. I love myself. I'm slaying. But I never want to neglect the girl a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago that maybe like, was still slaying in her own respect, but maybe was struggling so hard to implement different habits that are coming a little bit easier to me now. And I never want to like shame her or neglect her or make her feel unloved, because every single version of myself is worthy of that love. And I think every single version of myself has brought me to where I am today. And I love where I am today. So I love where I was however many years ago. So I'm working on loving who I am today without discrediting the girl I was and will continue to be. That's so cute. Y'all are journaling, right? Ooh, what do you understand now about the healing process that you didn't before? There's a good friend of mine, her name is Nil. And before I knew her, I watched one of her, knew her personally. I watched one of her YouTube videos, kind of getting deep about healing and things like that. And I remember she said a quote that stuck out to me so so much. And it was like I started to heal when I realized that the steps backwards were also part of the dance. And I think that healing is not linear. I mean, people say that all the time, but using every step backward as an opportunity, reframing your mind to think that every step backwards or everything hard is an opportunity to become more resilient, and finding joy in that is so important. And again, it's not romanticizing pain by any means. Like, you need to feel every emotion, and it sucks. Like, trust me, sometimes it sucks. But knowing that on the other side of it, you'll be so much better for it. Maybe not so much better for it, more so, but someone more capable of handling hard things, and someone who can say, I can do hard things, gives you such a bravery in life. And I mean, I can go on and on about that, but I think that finding the good in the bad is something that I never understood about the healing process until the past couple of years. So yeah. Next question. Ooh, wild card. Write out 3 things that made you smile today. My day is just starting. It's 10:35 a.m. and New York Fashion Week is upon me. Actually, after this video, I'm actually going to start my New York Fashion Week vlog for you guys. So that is making me smile because I love getting out content to my YouTube family. I feel like here it's such a different vibe than my other socials. I really try to I really try to be as authentic as possible here, and even more stripped down version of myself, because I always bring me to every single platform. But every time I open up the camera for YouTube, it makes me smile. So that makes me happy. Another thing that made me happy was getting up to work out today, because I didn't want to, but while I was on my treadmill doing 12 through 30, I just kept telling myself, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Like, your body is going to thank you for this, because you're going to have more energy today. And you know, there's this thing on Pinterest that's like, you need 3 wins today. It's like a mental win, a spiritual win, and like a health wise win. And so I'm like, I'm so proud of you for doing this. And that made me smile. And then I'm not going to lie, something else that made me smile was looking back from my pictures from last night, because last night I went to a launch party for Only Murders in the Building on Hulu season 5 with Miss Selena Gomez, and she was in the house, and I'm not even kidding, like less than a feet away from her. And so looking back at all that footage and being able to experience it with my childhood best friend yesterday, Jillian, made me so incredibly happy. And I loved seeing her reaction to Selena. And it was just like such a fun night. I didn't know anyone at this event, so it was fun to like get to know people, new people. I love that type of stuff. So, all right, guys, last one. I got a random reminder card. It says, reminder, pay attention to who you're with when you feel your best. A little reminder for the girls. Ooh. This is good. We got a wild card, ending off on a good note. What would you feel best to let go of today? Write it out and rip it up. And you know what, guys? I'm going to do this one with you, because if you have your journals right now, I'm about to bring mine out and do it with you. Let's do it. Okay, so I have a bunch of different journals for a bunch of different things. I have one for poetry. I have one for my Bible study and like my faith stuff. This journal that says current mood, this one is for my dumps, like my just like messy brain dumps, or like, this is, I hate, or I just, like type beat. So it felt appropriate. Like, literally, look at this. Why? Because I felt like it. So it makes sense to use this journal for this specific wild card. What would feel best to let go of today? Write it out and rip it up. Let me see. Today, I want to let go of comparison. I think it's easy in New York Fashion Week time, especially, to be like, why didn't I get invited to that? Or I love this brand. I would have loved to go to this. And thankfully, New York has been such an amazing city to get over that FOMO, or get over feelings of like jealousy, because there's so much going on in the city, and there's so much room at the table, and there's so much opportunity for everyone, and which is amazing. But at the end of the day, sometimes you're human. And I think with having so many back-to-back cool experiences in New York Fashion Week that sometimes you don't get to be a part of, there's this thing in Spanish, it's called puedes echarlo de menos. Lo que tienes tú, echas de menos. Like, what you have, it's easy to be like, oh, like whatever, like, I wanted that. And I'm letting go of that feeling preemptively, thankfully. Thankfully, I haven't felt that yet, but preemptively with whatever comes up this week, because I know that if someone else has it, then and I want that. It's a seed planted in my heart to know that I could also have that and be happy for the other person, which is such a beautiful thing. Being happy for other people when you genuinely feel it in your soul is one of the most beautiful feelings on earth. And so I'm going to channel more of that energy this week. So hopefully you can feel that vibe on the next video, which is the New York Fashion Week vlog. But I wanted to thank you guys so much for opening up with me. And thank you so much for letting me be vulnerable with you. Hopefully it helped, and hopefully we journaled a little bit together. This is like such a fun video. I think that the internet needs to get real sometimes, and that's also a call out to me. So I'm happy that we did this, and hopefully we can have another session soon. What do you guys think? I don't know. Let me know. I love talking about my feelings. It's my favorite thing to do. I love to get vulnerable and open up and be deep. So even though it's hard sometimes, but I love you guys. Te quiero muchísimo, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.